Good evening everybody and welcome to the Esports Mini League 1. This is rounds 1 and 2 tonight here. My name is Kieran McGinley and joining me in the commentary box, he's already been in the commentary box already tonight for Esports Mini League 2, it's Alan Kearns. Alan, how are you tonight?
I'm good, Kieran, and yourself?
Yeah, not too bad. I mean, I was watching on in League 2, there was a bit of controversy towards the end. However, we do have the points from League 2, so Alan, if you take it away, what's the standings on League 2 so far?
So the standings for League 2 so far after the first two rounds this week then is Clean Vigor Racing lead the way on 108 points. Second place is the Livid Academy team on 85 points. Third hit the Apex on 82 points. Fourth is Nexus on 77 points and TTL Esports on 52. So that's definitely, even for TNR, an overhaulable gap next week if they have a good week.
Yeah, absolutely. And here are the 5 teams racing tonight here in League 1. We have TMC with Matt Tebos and Experpetum. There you go. I'm going to call him Exper because that's a lot of syllables that I won't be able to get there. They are one team, and then we've got Race YP and Wesker in the other 2 cars. For Livid E-Racing, we have Hugo and Speedster in one team and Lewis and Francis in the other. For CPI Esports, we have Amris and Harry, also alongside Alex and Pete. They are CPI. We've got TTG Esports, we have Lyronics Siege, Spike and Recon. And then for the TTG Academy, we have Sean and White, and then Maze and Crazy Legs. So those are your teams for tonight. Make sure you are following them all on Twitter. We'll go over their handles later on in the show tonight. But let us know how you're feeling. Let us know who your flags are flying for tonight, and let us know who you think is going to be victorious. Obviously, last time out we did the mini league was back on the previous game in which TTG Academy won League 2. That's why they're promoted up this season. So it's all about basically, Alan, for TTG Academy to try and stay in the top division.
Yeah, it will be for the guys. In saying that, there should be plenty of hope for them to do so. Obviously, White and Crazy Legs, we know from TTL and TTFL, we know they're quick drivers and usually up around the front end of the grid, so they should be able to do the same here. And we know then Sean and Maze are 2 consistent drivers who just keep their head down. They make sure they bring their car home and they finish the race and they get points, and that will help TTG Academy usually, as we've said already, speaking off air, that teams need to make sure, even if you're in last place, you need to bring the car home to score the points. Everyone that finishes scores points, but you must finish, and that will help the Academy team.
Yeah, absolutely, and that is what the important thing is that your cars have to make it to that start-finish line to score those points. It's not good enough if they don't make it to the line. Don't make it to the line, that's it. Your points do not count. And to go sort of through the alternative points system that we're running today, of course, all positions do score at least 1 point. So the winner has 25 points, second place 22, third place 20, fourth place 18, fifth place 16, and then it goes down by 1 point increments all the way down to 20th, scoring that 1 point. Of course, you have to make it, as we've already said, to that start-finish line in order to get those points scored. And well, obviously, Alan, we've been treated this time around. Of course, last time we did the mini league, we had certain teams picked by certain teams in terms of these 2 teams will have Mercedes and Williams, these 2 teams will have the Force India and the Sauber, whatever. This time around, the cars are the multiplayer cars, therefore they have their own liveries. So it'll be really interesting to see what kind of colours we have out there out on track.
Yeah, it will be, and as we said, me and James spoke about this on the earlier stream for League 2. It's the first time running the multiplayer car as a whole in a mini league series, which allows the livery, so it'll be interesting to see what liveries teams come up with. I obviously have the TTG Academy livery on my multiplayer car for when I'm racing, so I know what that is, and I've seen the TTG one, the 2 nice liveries. Some of the liveries we've seen in the earlier races are very nice liveries made by the guys for their teams as well, so we'll get to see what Livid and CPI and TMC have to designed as well here. But it also, with the multiplayer car here on, has slightly less downforce than the actual F1 cars, so it's a little bit more of a challenge for the drivers to drive and get down fast laps. So it creates a little bit more battling that every driver is in a, say, generic car compared to the increment gaps between each team you would have in aero or things like that.
Absolutely. Well, just to go over the teams, you can follow Livid Esports at Livid Motorsports. They're on Twitter. CPI, you can follow them at CPI_esports. TMC, they are at TMC F1_official. And of course the TTG Academy and the esports team at TTGaming Esports. You can all follow those guys on Twitter. Please make sure you do. They've got 5 teams here ready to do battle, and the first place for our venue is Austria. 10 turns around these mountainous ranges take us around the 4.318 kilometre circuit with the first race back in 1970, and we have, Alan, 36 laps ahead of us, which is just above 156 kilometres. Lap record was set by Kimi Räikkönen in 2018 with a 106.957. Let's see what these multiplayer cars are made of.
I think it'll be 18 laps for the 25% race. I think you're thinking of the 50% distance. So,
yeah, you know what?
Not
That's
quite
it.
as long.
I'm gonna end the stream. I'm not fit for streaming tonight. That's it. I'm done. One thing I do remember.
It will be a late one if you're doing 50% races.
It's already started. Oh dear. Anyway, thank you for joining us. Looking forward to this one. It's been a while since I've done a mini league, so it should be a good occasion. I'm looking forward to it, and I hope you guys are too. Let us know in that chat down below who you're supporting tonight, and make sure you keep that chat as positive as you possibly can. Let's see what happens.
So, quick question before quali starts, Kieran. Is the top of the hill, is it turn 2 or turn 3 for you?
Well, you have turn 1, which is the right-hander. So we're right on board now with White then as we make our way up towards turn 1. This fast right-hander using that curve on the left-hand side to open up the corner as much as possible on the exit turn 1. Watch out for the traction on the exit now on towards the DRS zone. And then we're coming towards this uphill section. The left-hander is turn 2. The right-hander of the heavy braking zone is turn number 3. Heavy braking point here. Good overtaking opportunity there. Harry already retiring from this qualifying session. Watch out for the traction on the exit of turn 3. Now we're heading downhill towards turn 4. Downhill on the entry. Very easy to lock up the front tyres as you make your way now down towards turn 4. Braking just after the 100-metre board. You can see there that is White trying to chuck the car in and hoping it sticks through the long right-hander of turn 5. Then you come towards this double left-hander. Turn 6 to begin with. Take it slower than you normally would to carry the speed on the exit. And then we're heading now through turn 7. This left-hander here. Watch the curve on the exit through turn 8 now. And then you're going up and down the hill then through Rindt and Lauda. Turns 9 and 10. Chucking the car into turn 9. Watch out for that pit lane entrance. It will catch a couple of drivers out. And then in towards turn 10. Attacking that sleeping policeman. Ill-advised, but we come on a very short lap here in Austria. Speedster grabs pole's position. Amir is in second place there. So it's a good start for the team so far. And a very short lap here, Alan. We'll bring you the qualifying results as they come up in about 3 seconds time. You can count them if you like. And there you are, Speedster there for Livid E-Racing grabs pole position. It is Amir in second and Matt there is in third place. Laronix fourth, White fifth, Hugo sixth, Recon seventh, Lewis in eighth, Sinclair in ninth, Francis 10th, Siege in 11th, Pete 12th, Wesker in 13th, Sean 14th, Alex 15th, Racy 16th, Crazyleg 17th, Mays 18th, and Harry, who was disqualified from that session for setting an invalid lap time, he will start at the back in 19th place. It looks like then, Alan, all the drivers are starting on the soft tyres, at least in the top 10.
Yeah, I was just thinking that there again as you were calling that the commentary there on the lap. We've seen it twice earlier on in the other 2 races. Everyone went for the soft tyre, no one tried the alternative strategy. So obviously everyone's trying to be aggressive and do the best they can. And interestingly, only 1 lap invalidation in that qualifying one-shot quali as well. That's fairly unusual to have only 1 at a circuit like Austria, where there is a number of places where you can invalidate your lap.
Well, we've got lots of support in the chat for different teams. We have RPM in the chat supporting TTG. We have Graham supporting TMC. CPI Lewis supporting, well, who else would he support? CPI. That's a bit obvious, that one. Andy saying, missing me for the hot lap. I think I covered it pretty well, Andy. I mean, it was all right.
Yeah, I think you done a good job, Kieran.
It was okay, wasn't it? It was all right. 50-50, I give that. Obviously, can't dethrone Andy from the hot lap, forever. He's got to come back at some point. Surely, Andy, you can do that better than me. Surely. Anyway, let's see what it comes down to in this first race. Of course, you have to make it to that checkered flag. And of course, if you can help us out with whoever's driving in those cars, lots of colours there, as it looks like it is Livid Esports on pole position. That is Amir in second, and that is also Matt in third place. Alan, it looks like Livid obviously got one car on pole position, but they need their other three drivers. Hugo in sixth, Lewis in seventh there, and I think, am I right in saying? Oh yeah, Francis in 10th place. So they need all drivers there to really put in a shift in this one.
Yeah, if they want to capitalise, they've got Speedster open to the top positions. The three behind, they're going to have to push and at least maybe pick up maybe 2 places at least each. Would see them in a comfortable position. If they want to try and assert some domination, you'd want them finishing first to fourth. But I think looking at the guys that are in the mix there as well, TTG Sinclair, Recon, Matt Tibos, Amir, they're quick guys, so they're going to have a say in it. You've got, looking back towards the back of the pack, Wesker has been up around there before. Crazy Legs, we know is a quick driver. Sean, we know, can capitalise on what's going on around them. They're drivers who can come up into that sort of 5th to 10th place positions, and maybe if an LR driver struggles, knock them down, and that will hurt them. So they need to be sensible in how they go about it, and just not go bullheaded as well at the same time.
Well, we make our way now on towards the start-finish line and on towards the grid here. So a Livid car will lead them up towards turn 1. It is Speedster who is on pole position then, as they all line up. It is Amir in second, Matt there in third place, Lyronics in fourth, White in fifth, Hugo sixth, Recon seventh, Lewis in eighth, Sinclair ninth, and Francis in 10th. They are all starting on their used set of soft tyres. The rest of the field get to start on brand new sets of soft tyres, so this should be an interesting one. And in true mini league style, it looks like it's going to be the 5 red lights that come on, and then they'll go off, and then we'll get the starting sequence. In true mini league style, the 5 lights are on somewhere, and it's lights out. Here we go then. Harry already got a drive-through penalty for a jump start. Here is Speedster then having to defend in towards turn 1. Let's see how they all manage through turn 1 here. It is Speedster who still leads. Amir in second, Matt third, White then battling away with the sister car of the Academy car up towards turn 3 here. And let's see how they have all handled this first heavy braking zone here. It looks like Matt trying to make the move up the inside, couldn't quite make it. Lots of change around the midfield. Pete there, meanwhile, is running right behind Francis then as we make our way now down towards turn 4. So many cars here heading their way now all the way to turn 4. It's 2 wide, almost 3 wide in the midfield there, as Pete trying to go round the outside of Francis. No can do, he says, as Recon has lost out to Hugo there just through turn 5 and on the way through turn 6 as they go through now. It is Speedster leads, 0.8 of a second his lead is now. Meanwhile, Siege is right behind Sean then as they make way through turn 7, then up through turn 8. Of course, it's Academy TTG versus the esports team TTG as we make our way now in towards turn number 9, and that was Pete trying to go up the inside of Francis there. The door was quickly shut on him there as Speedster then sets the fastest lap of the race. Of course he does. He's leading on the very first lap. Look at that battle then between, that is Sinclair and Lewis on the way up towards turn 1. Lewis on the inside line, and it's Sinclair around the outside, and it's going to be a drag race between the two of them up towards turn 2. And look who's coming there, it's Francis. Francis has come out of nowhere at the moment up towards turn 3. He's around the outside now, and he is on the outside. Oh, a little bit of contact there between Sinclair. I think the door was shut on him, so Francis really had nowhere to go with that one. Just about avoided that one, and they're still side by side. They're running. That's the 2 Livid racing cars of Francis and Lewis, and I think they just about gave up on that battle there. But that is Pete trying to take advantage of the situation. Can't quite do it.
Just behind as well. So there's a 5-car battle here, and there's more and more cars are pulling up onto the back of this train as these guys battle. Interestingly, I just noticed there through the field there's a couple of battles going on between the TTG and TTG Academy team. So nice to see the Academy team getting their elbows out and having a fight.
Yeah, that is Francis making a move on Sinclair through turn 9, and he's got the position there. As you can see the cars there running through turn number 10. As look at this, Sinclair having a go up the inside. DRS enabled, and Sinclair up the inside he goes. They're going to hold it there. That is Francis, who really has nowhere else to go. A little bit of a squeeze on Sinclair as he does some cutting the grass then as they make their way through turn 2 and on the way up towards turn 3. Sinclair up the inside. Will he stop the car in time? Down to first gear he goes. Francis here will try and go for a switchback, but he can't quite do it. He'll have DRS though, and that is, I believe, Recon up ahead. We're still on board with Francis then, as he's now trying to go around the outside at turn 4 ahead of Sinclair. No, can't quite do it. They're still side by side though. He is. Round turn 5 they go, and Francis still up the inside at turn 6. They're still side by side here, and this time
battling by the guys.
Absolutely great battling there, and Francis wins that battle.
Lewis in at the background as well now to have a go on Sinclair. He's seen his teammate do it. He wants it to go now.
Absolutely. Amir though with a 3-second time penalty, that will come back to haunt him towards the end of this race. At the moment then it is Speedster who leads for Livid Racing. Amir is in second, Matt third. So the top 3 is as you were as they started. White is in 4th, Ironics 5th, Hugo in 6th, Recon in 7th place. He's trying to put some massive pressure on that Livid car of Hugo up ahead. Speaking of Livid, Lewis has just picked up a 3-second time penalty. That will be added on to the end of his race. Meanwhile, Sinclair is not done with this battle against Francis then as we make our way up towards turn 3. Can't quite make any move stick there, but meanwhile Siege and Sean, Racy and Wesker, they look like team swaps to me. I don't think they're battling, I think they're just letting each other through. But the Academy team of TTG have to be careful about those sort of tactics. That could be a move that might condemn them down to League 2. It's very early to say, of course, but the TTG teams can't be too friendly to each other.
No, definitely not. The guys need to battle. They're against each other on opposite teams. Yes, they're part of the same esports organisation, but they're on opposite teams tonight, so they have to do their best for the team they're driving for.
Absolutely, riding on board with Hugo then as he closes in on Lyronics. This is TTG versus Livid here as we make our way now up towards turn 1. Lap 5 of this race. Austria flies by when we've got some great racing like this. And
the front three have broken a good bit now from the rest of the pack. White's 2 seconds behind Matt Tibos in 3rd, so front 3 just starting to put their foot down and pull away.
Absolutely, Lewis there is closing in on Sinclair. Sinclair ahead, wants to try and get that move past Francis once again, running a little bit deep into turn 3. But meanwhile, Siege is looking to try and find a way past Pete then as they head now downhill towards turn 4. A load of battles to choose from right now, but at the moment Hugo is 3/10 behind Lyronics, and meanwhile Lewis is 3/10 behind Sinclair. We've got Racy who's 3/10 behind Sean. These guys are so close together. The biggest gap we have right now is the gap between 18th and 19th, which is 6 seconds. I mean, it's crazy right now.
And interestingly, after 5 laps, the top 10 from their starting positions appear on. White has swapped places with Lyronics, and LR Francis has swapped places with LR Lewis. They're the only position changes within the top 10 from the start of the race. As we see Matt Tibos hit.
Yeah, absolutely. So he is the first to blink then on those soft tyres, probably onto those medium tyres. He'll go next. As you see there, Pete trying to break the slipstream to Siege behind him. And now they go into the DRS. Meanwhile, Recon has just made a move on Hugo up towards turn 3. Still defending the inside line then, as Hugo trying to go around the outside. No dice for him, as Siege and Pete still battling here in towards turn 3. Siege has gone up the inside, and Sean, meanwhile, has gone up the inside of Racy. Racy's lost out big time there. I don't know whether he was involved in an incident with Alex there, or maybe with Sean up ahead, but Sean made a rash move up the inside, had to take advantage, and Sean again wanted to go up the inside of Pete there into turn 4. Obviously it's a 25% race, they've got less time to make these moves stick, but they've got to be careful, as off stream then, Amir has actually taken the lead off of Speedster then, so it is Amir who leads there. I believe that's for CPI if I'm not mistaken, and it is.
Speedster dives to the pits. Yeah, Amir for CPI, and Speedster dives into the pits, so he's going to try and cover off.
Yeah, absolutely, so lots of changes. lots of changes here. So Amir leads for CPI, of course. He's got to make a stop. All the drivers here have to make their mandatory stop. Sinclair, meanwhile, on the back of Lewis, as we see further up ahead, Recon and Lyronix battling away. There's literally too many battles to keep an eye on as the two teammates swap places. Meanwhile, Sinclair and Lewis battling in towards turn 3 now. Sinclair around the outside, Lewis on the inside. Who's going to have the better traction? They both get a similar exit as they make their way now down towards turn 4 now. It looks like Lewis there has the DRS, so he's got the better run down towards turn 4. He's got the inside line. Sinclair around the outside, and there's no way through. Sinclair can't quite attack. Lewis holds on there to that 6th place as we see there Pete trying to close in on Siege ahead of him. We've got Racy there closing in on Alex. We've also got Matt there, who is on the fresh medium tyres, has got past Maze there, who is on the old soft tyres. So for Maze, it's not been a great start to the mini league so far. Of course, Harry in 18th had that drive-through penalty, and look at that, Hugo's just gone straight past him. And those old soft tyres are starting to bear the brunt here. Lots of drivers into the pits.
Boys pull into the pits, and they're white. And so the two TTG guys stayed out together, Recon and Lyronix. Everyone else starts to buy it in.
Absolutely, and looks like then we've got Crazy Legs who's up now to 9th place, so it is Speedster who comes out in 10th place. Of course, he hasn't got clear air ahead of him.
Net lead.
But yeah, he's taken the net lead, and also Matt has rejoined ahead of Amir. So Amir there, yeah, so that's not quite worked.
Hugo has rejoined ahead of White as well. Hugo was 2 places behind White when they went into the pits there as well, so Hugo's gained 2 places out of that undercut as well.
There is Sean here, who once again wants to have a try and look up the inside of Pete, but no dice through turn 6, through turn 7, then he's just got to stick behind him. So right now, your net leader is Speedster right now, if you take away the guys ahead who haven't stopped just yet. And Speedster here is looking for a move now. He's going to try and make this move against Crazy Legs. I think Crazy Legs is coming into the pits anyway. With this pit lane, you have to commit early, and there you go. Crazy Legs has to back out of it because Speedster says, that's my racing line and I'm taking it. And he takes off that position. So now he's got Wesker ahead of him. So Lyronix is in the lead at the moment, Siege in 2nd, but they are yet to stop. Now Speedster is up to 4th place. Look at how much grip he's got compared to Wesker through turn 1. Now with the DRS, he's having to go round the inside, and look at that, round the outside then, in towards turn 2, and I don't think Wesker put up too much about there for Speedster. So Speedster then takes 3rd place, and how about Amir and Matt battling away? Amir! Yeah, there was contact there, and he's run deep in towards turn 3, so he's got to be a bit careful now as we make our way down towards turn 4. And Wesker here looking like he wanted to try and reignite that battle, but no dice for him.
And Wesker is still at the pit as well, so Lyronix, Siege and TMC Wesker are the only ones left to make their pit stops now in this race.
We've got Wesker, who's now dropped to 5th place, of course, with those old tyres. With those old tyres, he's not quite on the pace. So Lyronix into pits, Siege stays out, as does Wesker. Does he? Yes, he does. But look at that up the inside. That was Amir who wanted to try and make that move into turn 10 and quickly realised that wasn't a great idea. He's now in the slipstream as we make our way up towards turn 1 now. Wesker planting his car firmly in the middle of the track here, trying to help his teammate Matt here.
He's going to have DRS, both have DRS here, so.
And Wesker here, will he try and defend to try and help his teammate? He does try and defend a little bit, but Amir on those fresher tyres, it just looks like it's no match. And there you go, Amir for CPI back in front, and now into 4th place with Siege yet to stop. Meanwhile then, Francis has found a way past Lyronix, then out of turn 3 we go. And Lyronix here is just got to refocus and try and get that position back. That's what he'll be thinking anyway. Lewis, meanwhile, has his sights set on Sinclair ahead of him. So it is Siege who leads right now, but with
Pete again.
Recon as well, trying to close in on White. Of course, 2 TTG cars. That is Academy ahead of Esports right now, as we head now towards turn 9. So Siege into the pits.
With Harry, Maze and Racy as Maze and Harry battling.
So this is the battle then for 17th place. Of course, in the mini league, all these points count, all these positions count, as long as you make it to the checkered flag. So you may be having the worst race ever, but you've got to score those points for your team. Look at Racy there, coming out of turn 7, a much better line, and he's got much better traction through there, and he's passed Mays, even before the braking zone of turn 9. He runs a little bit wide as we head now, but Racy's got the position. Meanwhile, up ahead, Recon's losing out big time. And he's made contact with White there as we head now down towards turn 4. Yeah, Recon lost out big time there. It looked like Wesker here is putting up a fight on those old soft tyres and trying to help his teammate as much as possible.
Yeah, he seems to be struggling now on them at this stage, Wesker.
Yeah, absolutely. Meanwhile, Amir is right on Matt's tail then. Recon getting away past Wesker.
And oh,
we've got a car spun around. That's White into the wall.
Right, yeah. White tried to follow Siege or Recon bought through, and Wesker made contact. So not too sure what happened there. Just seeing the contact and White spinning in the background.
Wesker now comes into the pits then. As Amir then, a little bit of desync here, as Matt takes a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Here is Amir then, they're going to run side by side now as we head through turn 2 and up towards turn 3. This is the CPR car battling away with the TMC car, and Amir gets the move done, and he's now up to 2nd place. And that's a good move from Amir. He needed that one, and now he's 2 seconds away from the Livid car of Speedster up ahead. Meanwhile, the Livid car of Hugo in 4th place as well. So at the moment, Livid are having a good time. They've got what's that? First, they've got 4th. They've also got 3rd and no, sorry, they've got. Let me try that again. First, 4th, 6th, and 9th.
6th and 9th.
So. Well, there you go. So Livid are having a great time right now. Don't forget Recon, Lyronix and Sinclair. They're having a good day for their respective TTG teams. White, meanwhile, is on the charge to make a recovery, and he passes his teammate Sean up towards 12th place. He goes, and he'll be really annoyed at himself for that one. I can tell. Meanwhile, Pete is trying to close in on Siege. We are on lap 13 of 18. That means we have 7 laps to go, I believe. Yeah, that sounds... No, we have 6 laps to go. Oh, 6 laps. This is what the mini league does to you. It means you can't do maths. That's what I've learned over the years. But meanwhile, Matt is trying to close in on Amir. This is Matt for TMC, trying to get the traction down out of turn 3, but it just looks like he's a bit too far behind right now. Meanwhile, the Livid car of Lewis is trying to close into the TTG car of Sinclair as we make our way now down towards turn number 4.
Having a little battle in turn 4 as well.
They are side by side on the exit.
Side by side, little push of wheels.
Through turn 6.
Has the inside line here, but Recon still holding it around the outside. And Francis, he has to tuck back in behind Francis. So Francis going to have the 2 TTG cars of Recon and Lyronix up on the back of him there very quickly.
Meanwhile, Siege is trying to go up the inside at turn 7, but look at that. Pete there was just able to hold on round the outside. Really good defensive driving from Pete there. He now tries to break the slipstream behind, which of course he is allowed to do. And he's now up to 10th place, managing to hold on as well. Lap 14, 5 laps to go then. Speedster then picks up a 3-second time penalty. And we will have to see what those penalties are like, Alan, as we head towards the closing stages of this first race here in Mini League 1.
We will see where they stand.
Yeah, meanwhile, we've got Matt then for TMC closing in once again on Amir with the DRS heading now down towards turn 4. We've got, again, quite a few battles to be looking at. Matt here for TMC, thinking about a move down towards turn 4, doesn't think for it.
Order back down, Siege and Pete coming around turn 3, side by side, little touch. Siege tucks back in behind him. He comes with the DRS again, he's gone the outside line this time, Siege. What can he do? Pete brakes late, a bit of lock up there from Pete. Siege tries to cut back. Side by side now, Siege is still just behind him, so he's going to have to wait till they get around to the DRS line again to have a go. And we've got White and Sean closed in on the back of this battle here too.
We've got Matt and Amir also battling for 2nd place, 4/10 the gap between them. We've got Francis, Recon and Lyronics battling away for 5th place. Sinclair with a 3-second time penalty. Pete is also having to hold off a charge from Siege and White late on in this race. And he's doing a good job so far, trying to break the slipstream up towards turn 1. You can see there, right over to the right-hand side. The only problem with that, though, is that he does gather up those marbles, which on turning in towards turn 1 can cost him. But at the moment, it looks like he's coping really well with those marbles. Meanwhile, Francis is also having to hold off the cars behind. That's Lewis who's gone up the inside of Sinclair, and Lewis for Livid gets that position. Meanwhile, Matt here is still trying to battle away with Amir. CPI versus TMC, making our way through turn 5 and then towards 6 and 7. That is Matt then, who almost got the move done on Amir. The gap was 600ths of a second, but couldn't quite make it. Amir holds on then in the CPI car to 2nd place right now. Siege is also trying to battle away with Pete, but in doing that, he's opened the door for White there, and White now has to go round the outside, which he does, and now White takes over 11th place. This is what I was talking about with the TTG cars. Although they're in different teams, White and Siege, they're being friendly with each other. That might not be the case next week.
No, if there's battles needed, there might be, but White here could do Siege a favour. If he can get by Pete here, he might be able to back Pete back up into Siege and return the favour. So they, being the same academy and esports team, they can help each other in that way. But when it comes to position on track, that's a lovely move by White.
Great move from White.
When it comes to position on track, and look at here's Siege up the inside with White now. Look at this. Here we go. 2 TG cars now on the inside, and Pete is going to have to back out of this one.
Well, he's still hanging on in there. Siege doesn't get the great exit out of turn 3 there that he wanted. So on the run down towards turn 4, he's a little bit compromised. So many battles to be looking at with 3 laps to go. But it is Speedster for Livid who is leading right now. Amir for CPI is in 2nd place. Matt for TMC is in 3rd. Then it's Livid 4th and 5th. TTG 6th there. So it's looking like a pretty balanced field right now. And we're making our way on towards lap 17. Speedster starts the 17th lap of this race. 2 laps to go then here in the first race of Mini League 1. Up towards turn 1 we go, riding aboard with Matt now through turn 1. It's been a race that Matt here for TMC, it's been a bit of a frustrating one. He's been close to Amir before, but look at how much he's closing now through turn 2 and up towards turn 3 now. Matt has to go around the outside, which that is Amir covering off really well. Yeah, Matt couldn't quite try it there. He's now got the DRS down towards turn 4 here. In the slipstream he goes. He'll have to go once again around the outside at turn 4. Can he try and make this one stick now? Again around the outside. He's got the line though out of turn 4. Then through turn 5 he'll have the inside line in towards turn 6 now for 2nd place. He's got the inside line and he makes the move stick. Matt there finally finds a way past the CPI car of of Amir, and he gets the position done, and Amir there just gets a little bit wayward out of turn 7 there.
Meanwhile, it's really nice to see here on battling. It's those hard battling like that, but the boys so much respect for each other as well at the same time.
Absolutely. So Speedster starts the final lap of this race. We've got so many battles happening up and down the field. We've got Lyronics here battling away with Francis. Lyronics with a 3-second time penalty. Meanwhile, this battle here isn't done just yet. Amir's gone back up the inside at turn 1. Matt has the cutback though, but it is neither of them have the DRS going through turn 2 and then towards turn 3. This battle is far from over. It's come to the final lap. Amir, a little bit of a nudge there onto the grass. Matt has to take evasive action there, and Amir tried to shut the door. Matt was still there. Onto the grass he went. Not sure if Amir meant to push him as fast or as hard as he did like that. However, the move has been done. Matt then 3rd place he goes. So Amir
is going to be hurt. Amir is going to be hurt by penalties here. He's 6 seconds with the penalties. Anyone else around him has 3 or 0.
And Francis there on the last lap through turn 4 gets the move done on Recon there. Meanwhile though, Speedster for Livid Racing here has simply been in a race of his own. He's kept his head down and out of trouble, and more importantly kept his front wing out of trouble as well. It is Speedster then who heads around the final corner. A little bit of oversteer, pretty much his only mistake. He wins race number 1 in Mini League 1 and also sets the fastest lap of the race in doing so as well. Matt then finishes in 2nd. Amir actually drops to 4th with Hugo now up to 2nd place. So it's a Livid 1-2 so far here in Austria. Matt in 3rd, Amir in 4th, Recon 5th, Francis in 6th, Sinclair in 7th, Lyronics in 8th, Lewis finishes in 9th. It is Siege in 10th there with Pete in 11th, White in 12th, and that is exactly how it stays. Sean there will cross the line in 13th. He jumps up to 12th place through penalties. Gracie Legs jumps up to 13th now. White down to 14th. The positions are changing even after the finish has actually been and gone. Alex 15th, Harry 16th, Racy 17th, Wesker 18th, and then Mays will come around the final corner to grab those points there for the academy team of TTG. But race number 1 is done and dusted. Speedster grabs the win here, and it's a great day for Livid. They've got 1-2 here in Austria. So there is the podium then. Livid grabbed that 1-2 here in Austria. And it's only chapter 1 of what is going to be an exciting 2 weeks here. Of course, we do have the next race at Silverstone. But for now, here in Austria, Livid on top of the world. Position 1 and 2. And Speedster, with a very controlled drive, takes the win there. And the maximum 25 points. And, well, his teammate there, which I believe was Hugo, came across the line in second. He will actually pick up 22 points in this alternate point scoring system. But the thing is, all 19 drivers that started actually finished the race. So full points scored across the board. So here are your official, unofficial results. Speedster grabs the win there for Livid. Hugo second. Matt dropped to third after penalties. Amir in fourth. Recon fifth. Francis sixth. Sinclair in seventh. Laronix eighth. With Lewis in ninth. Siege in 10th. Pete in 11th. Sean 12th. Crazy Legs 13th. White 14th. Alex 15th. Harry 16th. Racy 17th. Wesker in 18th. And Mays rounding out the order in 19th place. Now, of course, all those positions are point scoring positions, with 19th scoring 2 points there. This is why it's so valuable for your car to just get to the end and get to the line. And well, that was a pretty exciting race. Let's hope Silverstone has even half the drama that did.
Yeah, it will be good if it does have that sort of drama in it. Just totting up the last few final points here, but it looks pretty close from what Mats have done so far. Livid have had a really good.
Really good first race. Yeah, absolutely.
Race, yeah.
Well, whilst Alan tops up the points... Oh, he's got it.
Have the points there.
He's got it. Go for it.
So, in the lead then is Livid on 74 points. TTG in second with 54. CPI in third with 39. TMC in fourth with 27. And TTG Academy still in the fight on 26 points. So
that's how it stands after race 1 of 2 tonight. Of course, we do have 3 and 4 next week, so make sure you tune into that one. If you've liked the racing so far, that's great. We've got more of it coming up in just a couple of minutes' time, where the race is due to start, I think, at 9:15. So we've got a bit of downtime here, Alan, to talk about what we've just seen and what we're coming to expect. So Livid, of course, leading the first round. Of course, it's not decided on the first race of the first night, and they'll have to keep up that consistency all the way through.
Yeah, it's as you said as well there, every car that started finished that race. So instantly TMC, who had a high position finisher, are still finding themselves at the back battling with the academy because they were down a driver, and they're the only team to be down a driver. So you can see how much it actually affects. So teams will have to make sure that they continue, even if it is low level points and low end points, that they keep just picking up them points, especially Livid and the TTG team, because they're the ones out in front. They're the ones teams are going to be chasing now. So they're the ones that have to keep picking up the points and making sure they're keeping that buffer between them and the teams behind, and do their best they can to fight for this when it comes down to the last race, because we know in mini league history it usually comes down to the last race on the second night. So,
well, it looks to me like we have a new driver in the lobby, Alan. It is Perpetuum, who is the 4th TMC driver.
TMC driver.
So he wasn't here for the first race, he's here for the second race. So now we have a full lobby of 20 drivers, so all teams are being represented in full. So TMC now have that disadvantage ruled out now, but obviously it was a tough start for the TTG Academy. They are bottom of the table right now. What sort of mindset are they going to be in, as we're actually starting the session straight away? So we're starting 10 minutes early. This is great stuff.
We've done this in League 1 as well, or League 2 earlier as well, so it's quite handy that you don't have the long sit around. But I think the mindset, I don't think it's going to change much for Mays and Sean. I think they knew that they were going to probably be over a 1 lap pace, be a little bit slower, and their advantage is consistency and keeping the car in a straight line and keeping it clean. So they'll look to do the same thing again. They'll hope for maybe a little bit few more incidents than there wasn't the incidents that in Austria that they would have liked to take advantage of. So they may be hoping for a few incidents in this one they can take advantage of. White and Crazy Legs. Crazy will want to put in a better showing from himself from after that last race. White was up there, he knows he can battle up there, so that won't worry him. He knows he'll be able to put his car back up in the front end again, so I expect to see that again, and I expect to see Crazy join him up the front end this time around.
And of course, with those 5 teams battling away with a full lobby of 20 drivers, we had some pretty clean driving in that last race. Let's hope we get it at Silverstone here, which is pretty notorious for drivers losing their cool around a track like this.
Yeah,
But
the last race was very refreshing to see the hard battling that went on in the race, but the respect shown between the drivers as well. It's very refreshing to see that in the league.
And of course, for this second race, we come basically to the home of Formula One, Silverstone, where the very first race was started. It's changed a lot since then. Of course, the disused airfield changed to a racetrack with only 8 corners back then. Now, you look at it, there's 18. They added 10 corners in those 60-odd years, nearly 70 years now, in the racing that it's been here. It's been through many redesigns, including recent as 2012. Yeah, 2012, because the 2012 they used the old start-finish line. In 2013 they moved it all to that new complex that you're seeing just in front of you. So it's been through those redesigns, and we're straight on board here. I believe this is Lewis here for Livid, as is already instantly off the throttle, but we're now on board now as we head through turn 1 and then through turn 2 through Farm here. Very tricky set of corners as we make our way now onto the braking zone of turn number 3. Very easy to lock our front tyre as we now head in towards turn 4, which is the loop, aptly named there. Now flat out through turn 5 and onto the Wellington straight now. Full throttle, DRS wide open as we make our way up towards turn number 8. Now where is the braking zone? Just at the 50-metre board, maybe just before it, and a long left-hander carrying a little bit too much speed there can cost you. And the line through turn 7 there with a big mountain of oversteer there. He managed to hold onto the car now through turn 8, and then we're coming towards turn 9, the old Cops Corner, the old turn 1, the new turn 9. Look at that then, slightly off the throttle there for Lewis as he makes his way now on towards Maggots, which is this famous section here of Maggots. Then we're coming through Beckett's now through turn 12, then through 13, and then through turn 14 of Chapel here. Such a famous couple of corners there as we make our way now down the Hanger Straight with DRS wide open once again on our way towards Stowe Corner, turn 15, where Nigel Mansell famously went around the outside to make the move stick. What a lovely move that was. Heading now down towards Vale and in towards the last couple of sections. Last heavy braking zone of the track, then turn 16 through 17 and now through Club Corner and turn 18 as Lewis heads towards the line. It is Amir who's on pole position then for the second race, speeds to second, and Hugo in third. These Livid boys are up for it. And Amir, who, you know, at turn 1 was 16th, managed to recover the lap. He's now on pole.
Yeah, it was a nice lap from him here. And
So
again,
let's have a look at those qualifying
top 10
results.
separated by 7 tenths.
Oh, the top 3 is separated by 0.023 seconds. That is amazingly close. For TMC, though, they've got a bit of hope. For Petum in 4th place there, Laronix in 5th, Matt in 6th, Recon 7th, Francis 8th, Harry in 9th and White in 10th. Harry will be hoping not to jump start this time. Alex in 11th, Wesker 12th, Pete in 13th, Siege 14th, Sinclair 15th, Lewis there in 16th, Mays 17th, Crazy Legs 18th, Sean in 19th and Racy in 20th. Sean and Racy had their lap times invalidated. But Crazy Legs there, 18th, 4.6 seconds off the pace. That's not an encouraging sign. Maybe he'd have made a mistake out there, but the important thing is he set a clean lap. That means he starts ahead of Sean and Racy. Yeah,
and another interesting one as well. For the 4th race of the night, no one has tried the alternate strategy with 25% races. That's quite interesting to see. Known over 4 races, not even one person has tried the alternate strategy.
Absolutely. Well, if you like this commentary so far, fantastic. Maybe you'd like to follow us on Twitter. My one's at KSMCGF1. Alan, how about your one? Just a bit of self-promotion.
Mine is at TTG_Alan K. And if anyone watching would like to join in with any of the leagues we run at TTG, you can drop me a message on Twitter and I'll put you in touch with the relevant admins for the leagues.
what's rare to see, Alan, is a nice sunny day here in Northamptonshire. It's clear blue
Yeah.
skies, no rain on the forecast, and it looks like it's going to be a great day of racing.
Yeah, it's not the typical British and Irish summer you would sort of expect from the weather in this part of the world.
Absolutely not. Well, 20 cars start this one, and remember, all the cars have to make it to that start-finish line in order to score points. Points are scored through first down to 20th, so it is worth getting that car to the line, because if you don't make it to that start-finish line, you do not score points. So Amir for CPI will be leading them on towards turn 1. And, well, it's going to be a very interesting couple of corners, especially on this first lap, especially through the loop as well. Expect to see some cars go 2-3 wide through there. Livid want to pick up exactly where they left off. Speedster, winner last time out, will be hoping to try and make it 2 out of 2. Hugo, who finished second thanks to penalties, second last time out, he starts third here. Perpetuum here is running in 4th place here for TMC, and he'll be hoping to make it a good start for himself in this league. We've got Lyronix there in 5th place, Matt for TMC in 6th, Recon for TTG in 7th place there. We've got Francis in 8th, Harry in 9th, White in 10th. Of course, they start on the tyre. They qualify on a little bit of a different strategy going on here. Siege is starting on the medium tyres, as is Lewis for Livid, and Sean also in 19th, starting on those medium tyres, looking to try and make the alternate strategy work. We've got 13 laps here of Silverstone, as Amir is actually off there just before turn 12. So that will be a little bit of a scare for the pole sitter right now, as those tyres will be covered in dirt, and obviously they might be a little bit overheated. And of course, it always sees in this game that once you've got those tyres overheated, they do take a while to cool back down again. So he'll be a little bit worried about that one.
Yeah, it is. The cooling on the tyres is a lot different than the last game. So you see in league races, a lot of drivers still struggle with getting the temperature back down when they lose the car. So.
Well, here they are then, making
it's
their
a nice
way.
Bit of added fun to the racing, Kieran.
Absolutely, they're making their way now back towards the grid. Speedster will take that 2nd place spot. It will be Amir on pole position though for CPI. And let's see how this one unfolds. We've had some great racing in Austria. Let's hope the trend continues here to Silverstone and race 2 of the Mini League 1. And thank you for joining us. Let us know who you're supporting tonight in the chat. Let us know how it's all going. And we have the traditional false 5 red lights here before we actually get underway. And now those lights will come on.
Disappeared off the grid there.
Well, we're getting ready now for race 2. 5 lights are supposedly on. Race 2 is underway, and what are the starts like? It looks like it's a good start there for Perpetuum as they make their way up towards turn 1. Amir will hold on to the lead, but look at that. Hugo here has got the move done, and Speedster's down to 4th place here. It's not been a great start for him at all here as we now head our way in towards turn 3. Let's see how everybody piles in towards the loop. A little bit of oversteer from the car behind. I think that was one of the CPI cars getting a little bit sideways there as we now head our way in towards turn 4. Here's Lyronix here, who's on a charge. Perpetuum as well, trying to have a look at Speedster. Speedster going defensive now, up towards turn 7. Lyronix here is trying to go up the inside, and there goes Recon, who just takes that position, but instantly loses the back end. He's off! Recon is off onto the grass. Just took a little bit too much speed there in towards turn 7 there, and that has cost him completely. He's now all the way down at the back of the field. Meanwhile then, Speedster is really trying to defend now from Perpetuum, and Speedster here, for whatever reason, the car's just not set up for him. Francis, meanwhile, has got a good run on Lyronix, but he's got nowhere to put it through turn 10, through 11, 12 and 13, through Maggots and Beckett's here. With a heavy fuel load here, it's very easy to overestimate how much speed you can take through. White, meanwhile, has lost a bit of time on Francis as we head our way now down the Hanger Straight, but Amir is still leading here. Hugo is in 2nd place, Speedster in 3rd, still trying to hold off Perpetuum there in 4th place. Meanwhile, Francis here has got away past Lyronix here. Lyronix all the way off onto the outside, trying to defend now on towards turn 16. Little bit of wheel bang. Lyronix locks up there, and the limit car of Francis gets a little bit sideways. Let's just keep it clean for now as Lyronix holds on to 6th place. Francis down to 7th. He'll be eager to try and get that position back. Meanwhile, Wesker here for TMC has had a good run on White then. as he approached turn 1, but couldn't really do anything with it. Francis here having a look up the inside of Lyronix in towards turn 3. A little bit of contact again, a little bit of oversteer moment for Francis. Through turn 4 we go, through the loop there, and it looks like Lyronix is going to shut the door. Yes, he does. No way through for Francis right now as we head on towards the second lap, but look at Francis once again, still no DRS, and look how much Francis has got on the straight line speed as we head now in towards turn 6. Around the outside he tries to go, but not quite there. Lyronix defended well there. White meanwhile is under attack from Wesker here, who tries up the inside, and just about enough room there for Wesker to try and slip through. Couldn't quite make the move stick though, and again Francis trying to make a way past the Lyronix here. He has to go around the outside at turn 9. He'll run wide there, and that has to be careful there, because that could easily be a 3-second time penalty. As I've yet to hand over the mic to you, Alan, because there's been so much action. I'll hand over.
We are on lap 2 and there's not a second gap between any car on the grid. Just right as you say, Lyronix pops up 2 seconds away from Matt Tibbles, but until then every car was within a second of each other. That is some racing. And,
absolutely.
some swapping around while you were calling at the front there, I was seeing some swapping around. Sean got a nice overtake on Siege. Siege got him back again a couple of corners later, and also Recon and Crazy were having a battle, which Crazy won out in the end as well.
Oh, it's very, very close here, but Sinclair has taken full advantage of Lyronix battling, and he now moves up to 7th place, and that might be a little bit of breathing space now for Francis. He's got the move done on Lyronix. Up to 6th place he goes. He now just has to keep his head down and try and build that gap, and Sinclair just said to Lyronix, well, if you're distracted, I'll happily take that position away from you. So they swap positions, of course.
I wouldn't call having Sinclair on your tail breathing space either.
Well, it was temporary breathing space, because now that gap has completely closed up again.
I speak from experience.
Well, Amir leading the way then by half a second. Hugo is in 2nd place. Speedster seems to have got the car back the way he wants it, now in 3rd place and able to try and build a healthy gap at least over Perpetuum, who is in 4th place. Meanwhile, Francis is still under that pressure, not from Lyronix this time, but the other TTG Esports car of Sinclair, as we make our way through Maggots, and then we're heading towards Beckett's now. All about the good run through here that can set you up through Chapel and then down the hangar straight. DRS wide open for Sinclair. He'll be able to close in with the DRS as well as we make our way now down towards Stowe Corner, in towards turn 15. Francis goes defensive on the inside. Sinclair might try a little bit of cutback here. Francis runs wide as we make our way now down towards turn 16, but no way through there. Off the stream there we had a couple of position changes. Lewis is now up a position.
TMC and Recon both picked the pocket of Sean down the hangar straight as well under DRS.
So they're up positions then. Siege meanwhile still trying to put a move on Alex, trying to put that pressure on. He's on the medium tyres as well, so that's something to watch out for. Recon and Racy getting a little bit racy as they make their way now on towards turn 3. Look at them in the background. No, that's Crazy Legs trying to have a look up the inside of Harry there. No way through for him. Look at Speedster then right on the back of Hugo. And it looks like he's got that car up to temperature. Whatever the problem was in those first couple of laps, it seems to have been mended now, and he's able to be on the pace. But that pressure's still behind from Perpetuum then. Still under a second, still within DRS range as we're on the 4th lap here in Silverstone. Amir leads, Hugo 2nd, Speedster 3rd, Perpetuum in 4th, Matt in 5th, Francis 6th, Sinclair 7th, Lyronix 8th, with White in 9th, Lewis 10th, Whisker in 11th, CPI Alex in 12th, Siege in 13th, Recon 14th, Racy's now just moved up to 15th ahead of Pete, who's 16th, Sean in 17th, Harry in 18th, Crazy Legs in 19th, and Maze is in 20th place.
Yeah, and just at the moment we're starting to get sort of 3 different individual trains splitting off from each other now at the moment, with the top 5 sort of getting away from Francis, and then from 12th straight down, or 13th, 14th and Recon down, it's fairly close again in another little train, so plenty of battles to come here.
Absolutely, as Sinclair is the first person into the pits then, as we've got yellow flags in sector 3, and that's Crazy Legs. Crazy Legs is around there, and Harry's also retired. He's Harry retiring in the pit lane. So that is one CPA car down.
What you want to do. It's not what you want to do. You want to finish the race to get your points.
Absolutely, but it looked like there was an incident with Crazy Legs there.
Crazy looks damage free there, so I think Crazy might have got lucky. He might just have been in the spin. He'd want to get his head down out. Just not push too hard on them overheated tyres for a couple of corners and let them come back down.
Well, meanwhile then, Hugo is once attacking the lead. Now he's under pressure from Speedster. So what did Livid do here? Did they swap positions? Did they say, Hugo, let Speedster through? Well, what's going on here, I wonder?
Yeah, the guy's been holding that gap for a while now, so I don't see any sort of reason to look for the team to call a position change. It's not as if Speedster is all over the back of Hugo, and it's clearly visible that he's the quicker car. As you can see, Hugo having a close up on Amir there, so
yeah, it's a difficult one to call for the team as well.
Hugo
As that is
might
Papetum
be making the decision for the team and saying, no, you're not swapping us around, I'm going into first place.
Two TMC cars of Papetum and Matt into the pits then, from what they were in 4th and 5th place. As Francis finally gets past them. Of course, it's a very awkward pit lane. That's why the speed limit is so low. But lap 6 then, just under halfway through this race. It is still Amir who leads from Hugo. Recon here is right on the back of Alex as we head our way towards turn 3. He's up the inside here, Recon. But this is Alex who will have the inside at turn 4, but he can't quite make it stick. And Recon gets the position done. He moves now up to 7th place. How about Hugo, though? Still trying to chase down the CPI car of Amir as we make our way through turn 7. And then we're making our way towards turn 8. Amir just seems to have better traction out of turn 7 there. He's able to build up that gap even more now. But the Livid cars have got to either work together or make a decision.
Yeah, just looking, and we've been watching Sinclair there, pitted the first one to go and pit, and he's already picked the pocket of Ironics on the undercut. So if I was Livid, I'd be calling at least one of the cars in to cover off any further undercut from Sinclair. Leaving them out could leave them vulnerable to hit, not only from Sinclair, Matt Tibbs as well, and Perpetual Mobile now on fresh tyres as well. So
here is Recon then, side by side with Wesker with the DRS, and that is Recon who takes away 6th place. Meanwhile, Amir and Hugo into the pits then, so they must have the stream on another screen listening to you, Alan, because Speedster now takes the lead, and he'll be the one that has to go an extra lap then as he heads now towards turn 3. Let's see the battle of the pit lane then. Hugo in on go a set of medium tyres. There is Amir who, oh, that's ghosting, but look at that, Hugo rejoins ahead of Amir, and that is going to be hugely frustrating for the CPI team.
And where is Perpetual?
Papetum's coming on towards turn 1 now. He'll fly through. And no, he doesn't. They'll have a better run. Of course, those tyres have warmed up now, so Papetum might have the advantage on the first part of this lap as Hugo and Amir try and warm those tyres up. But yeah, hugely frustrating for CPI there to see that happen.
I think Speedster is going to now, having done that extra lap, is going to come out behind Matt Tibbs.
Yeah, we've already got CPI Lewis. CPI Lewis in the chat saying unsafe release, surely. Well, we'll see. But Lewis there, the other Lewis of Livid, moves up to 12th place, up the inside of White, and on those soft tyres, he's looking to try and make them last to the end of the race. Here is Papetum then, right on the back of Amir. We were saying before that these tyres might be warmed up for Papetum. TMC versus CPI then, on towards turn 10 through turn 11, and Papetum has the move done. Brave move there, and he's got the move done, but this time Amir will have the DRS down at the hangar straight. Speedster, Recon, Alex, all into the pits there. Amir here might have just undone Papetum's work then as we make our way towards Stoke Corner. He's got to go around the outside. Siege is out of this one. Siege out of the race. Amir here on the cutback then towards turn 16, trying to go round the outside. Papetum on the inside, now round the outside for 17 here, and not quite done there. I'm just looking at Amir on the right hand side of his front wing. Yes, there's damage to the CPI car of Amir out there. Now I wonder where he picked that up, because he hasn't been really close to a car behind since he came out of the pit lane. But Papetum here now trying to go around the outside at turn 3 once again, and this time he's got the move done. Once again though, down the well Wellington Straight. He's going to be exposed to some DRS. There is Matt in the other TMC car, who is looking to try and take advantage as well. There are the two Livid cars of Hugo and Speedster leading the way. Amir with that damaged front wing with less downforce makes contact. He tried it down the inside of turn 7 and the door was closed. Amir spins out and he rejoins now. It'll be down to 8th place. And with that already damaged front wing, less downforce meant less turning. And he's now down to 9th place. And White gets another position. He's now up to 8th place. As there is, yeah, we've got Pete there who's losing position. Oh no! Contact between Amir and White. Amir and White.
And White is out of the race.
And I think Amir's pulling over to retire as well. I mean, I don't know. Let's have a look at what happened down that straight. Well, Amir turned. He turned left. He turned left on a straight. I mean, that's unacceptable. It's simple as that. Meanwhile, Lyronix here up the inside of Sinclair, and he's got the move done. Meanwhile, Livid Lewis here is trying to get past these two TTG cars. He's having a bit of a tough time at the moment. He's on those soft tyres, fresh soft tyres, might I add. Now coming through turn 17 and then towards turn 18 now. And Sinclair just about holds on, but how long can he hold on to those medium tyres, I wonder, as we make our way now in towards turn 1. Looks like, at least for one corner, but those two TTG cars ahead of Lewis, it's going to be a bit frustrating, I think, for Lewis then. So 15 runners now, and that means those 5 drivers will not be scoring points. Meanwhile then, the battle for the lead is heating up. I wonder if Hugo and Speedster are just working together now. They know it's not a team, they know it's not a drivers' championship, it is a team championship. So that's what they'll be focusing on right now.
Livid now are the only team with all cars still running, so they have an advantage of an extra car scoring points than every other team running. Unfortunately, the TTG Academy team now are down to 2 cars left in the race.
Here is Lewis then. Lewis trying down the inside at the old turn 1, the new turn 9. He's turning in, he's got more grip, and he's got the move done. Brave move there from Lewis, gets that move done. But of course Sinclair will have the DRS down the hanger straight, but he makes a little bit of a mistake there through turn 11. And well, he's lost out big time there. He still does have the DRS, but so does Lewis then. Down the hanger straight and towards Stowe Corner. In the background there, I believe that's Recon being closed in by the Livid car of Francis. Now
Wesker's under attack from CPI Alex as well, behind them.
And we make our way now onto lap 10, 4 laps to go. Francis, does he have the move done? Oh, Recon's around.
Ooh.
Recon around at turn 16 there, and that was Wesker just having to back off of that one. He wanted to go down the inside, but then thought twice about it. I don't know whether there was contact between the two of them, but we can't make that judgment because there was no footage of it. So we'll have to see what the drivers think about at the end of that.
Yeah, it's interesting though. A lot of drivers
move for the lead.
A lot more here than.
Yep, Speedster now leads the race ahead of Hugo. Move made down the Wellington Straight. Meanwhile, it's a TMC 3 and 4. Now, surely the team will be over the radio and saying, work together, you can still catch those Livid cars. Meanwhile, Lewis here on the back of Lyronix looking to try and take even more points.
Let's match through. So
he compromised his own line through turn 9 though. But meanwhile, Lewis up the inside and turn 9, and Lyronix still on the outside there. They're going to battle side by side through turn 10. Who's going to blink first then through turn 11? Lyronix just about holds on there, and Lewis once again is, is being held up by a TTG car. He knows he's got the pace, but Lyronix is defending for all it's worth. Lewis now in the slipstream. He'll have to go around the outside at Stowe Corner then, around turn 15. He'll have to do a Nigel Mansell if he wants to make this move stick. Lyronix there defending well, and Lewis, there's just no way past for him right now. Now coming down towards Vale and in towards the last heavy braking zone of the lap, turn 16. Around the outside of turn 17, not a lot of space for both drivers. Somehow they make it through, and Lyronix just about holds on. But now on towards turn 1. Lewis has a much better exit out of the final corner. He has the inside line for turn 1, and surely that's going to be the move done. And yes, by a front wing end plate, Lewis turned in, had the faith in Lyronix, but still Lyronix wants this battle to continue on down towards turn 4, but Lewis shuts the door. Yeah, Lyronix just couldn't make that move stick. He couldn't get that front wing up the inside, had to lock up, and Lewis gets the move done.
Now as well. So Lewis is going to have 2 TTG cars to contend with now with Sinclair up on the back of him.
Well, Sinclair here Oh, Lewis has run a little bit deep into turn 8 there. Oh, sorry, turn 7, but that is to try and gain a little bit of traction out of the corner. Of course, it is full throttle now up towards Copse Corner, and you can see that has made a little bit of a difference. Meanwhile, Sean and Racy have swapped positions there.
Yellow flag and tail. Yellow flag and sector tail disappeared, so don't see anyone off track at the moment.
Not at the moment, no, but what's going on with Sean here, I wonder? They're battling away here, Sean and Racy, up towards turn 9. So that is the battle here for 12th place. Of course, this is a point scoring position too, as Racy looking up the inside at turn 10, but has to back out of it there. We realised there just wasn't a way through there. Lyronics, meanwhile, is not giving up on this battle between himself and Lewis right now. Lewis on those soft tyres. Now, those soft tyres might actually be coming to the end of their life, considering how much battling he's done. They might be coming to the end of their life. I wonder, Alan, if you could just have a look at the penalties and see how we're doing in terms of racing.
Speedster, no penalty.
Let's have a look.
No penalty.
Well, Speedster here. Speedster here, of course, leading by half a second. Matt is in 3rd for TMC and 4th place there for Perpetuum. Livid have Lewis in 5th. Lyronics and Sinclair running 6th and 7th there for the TTG Esports team. That's Pete there in trouble. And it is Pete in trouble at the last corner. Looks like there's damage to that front wing right-hand side. And he is now running in 15th place. Maze has now moved ahead of him.
Recon, Sean and Pete have 3-second penalties. No one else has a penalty.
So we're looking good then for battles out on track at this moment in time. So Lyronics here still trying to close in on the back of Lewis, and Lewis will be getting pretty sick of that black and the red car in his mirrors right now. He has to keep going. He's only got 1.5 laps to go on those tyres, but Lyronics is feeling here that maybe the momentum's on his side. Of course, those medium tyres are longer wearing, so they take longer to wear out, and Lewis's tyres here will be coming to the end of their life towards the end of this race. So Lyronics here feels like he's got a chance. Perpetuum this time moves ahead of Matt then, so that's TMC swapping positions once again. Lyronics here.
Both guys are falling away from the front too.
Absolutely. Well, Alex has made a move on Wesker, has he? Wesker's around. Wesker around at turn... That's Stowe Corner. What happened there with Wesker? He's gone backwards in there into the gravel trap. And that means that's going to hand a position to Sean then, and the TMC car behind as Wesker wants to try and hold on to this position. And there's a little bit of contact between teammates there. We are on to the last lap of this race then. Speedster for Livid leads the way then as he makes his way now on towards turn 7. A little bit of a tight entry. It might open up for Hugo here, but he can't quite take advantage. And it looks like here for Livid, Speedster and Hugo might try and finish in formation as they did in Austria, but this time much closer as they make their way now on towards the final couple of corners now, heading through Maggots and then through Beckett's here. Livid looks like they have 1 and 2 locked out already as they make their way now through Chapel and down that long back straight then. DRS will be open for Hugo. I wonder if he's going to make a battle of this. He is, you know. Speedster is going to defend the inside line. Hugo around the outside. Let's see if the two Livid cars are friendly with each other. Round Stowe Corner. Hugo still side by side with Speedster then as we head now down towards turn 16. In turns Hugo on the inside. He's now around the outside of Speedster. It's going to be a tough move to make if he wants to make this work. And it looks like Speedster, they're punishing in formation. But look at that. Speedster wins by 0.04 of a second. Speedster takes win 2 out of 2. That was amazing between the two Livid cars there. Perpetuum finishes in 3rd. Matt there finishing in 4th. Lewis held off the two TTG cars of Lyronics and Sinclair. He finishes 5th. Lyronics 6th, Sinclair 7th. Francis down in 8th. Recon down 9th. Alex then crosses the line in 10th. Sean in the Academy car of TTG is going to hold off Racy there and finish in 11th place. That is Racy who finished in 12th. Wesker there finishes in 13th, but it will be bumped up to 11th on penalties. That is Mays then who will come across the line in 14th, and then Pete will be last of the finishers. But of course he will score points for CPI here as he makes his way around the final couple of corners. But race winner here in Britain at Silverstone, it's 2 out of 2 for Speedster by 0.04 of a second.
Someone needs to send a video of that two guys finishing the race there to the Haas teammates. Show them how teammates should race.
Well, 400ths of a second. That's all it was. But Speedster takes race win 2 out of 2 here in Mini League 1. And Livid Racing have a firm grip on this one right now. Another 1-2 in this one. And it has to be said, they are the team to beat heading into next week. 2 races down, 2 to go, Alan. I've got to say, Livid look firmly in control. But that's the story this week. Will it be a story next week?
Yeah, it's going to 2 completely different tracks next week as well. Germany and Italy, a lot higher speeds. Not as much as a technical tracks as what, say, Silverstone would be.
Absolutely. Well, Speedster then finishing in first in the official, unofficial results. Hugo in second, Perpetum in third, Matt in fourth, Lewis in fifth, Lyronics in sixth, Sinclair seventh, Francis in eighth, Recon in ninth, and Alex in 10th, Wesker in 11th, Sean 12th, Racy 13th, Mays in 14th, and Pete finishing in 15th, the last of the finishers. But he does score points for CPR. Non-finishers, Amir, White, Crazy Leg, Siege, and Harry not scoring points for their teams. They didn't make it to the checkered flag. Well, that'll do it for the stream tonight, I think, Alan, here for Mini League 1. Yeah. Make sure you're following all the leagues on Twitter. Make sure you're following... 2 seconds
and I'll give you a points update before you go.
Oh, yes. That's true. We do have to have a points update before we sign off. So let me talk to you more about this race. Well, it was won by just under 500ths of a second. That's how close it was. Photo finish. I mean... Let's think about this. We had Michael Schumacher, Rubens Barrichello at Indianapolis all those years ago. It reminds me of that back in, I believe that was 2002, for giving back the win in Austria, I think that was. So whether that was controversial or not, whether that was staged, whether Schumacher was actually supposed to finish second at the race, who knows? But Speedster and Hugo, for all I know, were battling to that checkered flag. That's great to see. And TMC finishing third and fourth in that race. That's going to help their points tally to no end, because they only started this race. They only started race 1 with 3 drivers, got up to 4, got themselves 3rd and 4th place.
Yeah, it was good driving, and I have the points in there, and that 3rd and 4th place has really helped TMC, as Livid Racing's strong finish again sends them out into a further lead on 134 points. 2nd place is still TTG, just holding on 95 points to 2nd place. Being chased down now by TMC on 83 and CPI on 72, with the TTG Academy team on 42 points. So a lot of work for the Academy team to be done next week. The Academy team need to make sure all 4 cars finish both races basically next week to claw them back into it. So
absolutely,
been unlucky with incidents and stuff, but that's how the points are falling at the moment. Obviously, if there is any changes in them points because of driver penalties in the stewards' decisions, we'll let you know before the stream next week anyway.
Yeah, absolutely, and make sure you're following all the leagues there on Twitter. We've got at Livid Motorsport on Twitter, at CPI_esports, at TMC F1 _official, and at TTGaming Esports. You can also follow me if you like. It's at KSMCG F1, and you can also follow Alan there as well.
And it's at TTG_Alan K.
Well, I hope you can join us next week for some more great racing. Until then, I've been Kieran McGinley.
And I've been Alan Cairns.
Take care of yourselves, and we will see you next time.
Bye-bye.